Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Jack, the muscle and mobility maker with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm going to be showing you one of the simplest ways you can make your stretching more effective. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it doesn't get better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right, like I said, today I'm going to be showing you how to take your stretching and instantly make it more impactful and effective overall. And the way that we're going to do that is simply by making it more active through muscular contractions. Now, the way that this works is based off of a phenomenon in our body called reciprocal inhibition. So the idea of reciprocal inhibition is the fact that when one side of the joint, the muscles are contracting, the opposing muscle groups are naturally going to downregulate their neurological signal so that they're going to relax more. So this can be used again to make our stretching much more impactful and effective overall. So say I'm stretching my hamstrings and I want to improve the flexibility and movement in my hamstrings and the range of motion that I have there. It's going to benefit me to activate my quadriceps while I'm near that end range of motion for my hamstrings to be in order to allow them to relax. And the way that we'll use this is actually in a contract relax type method where you'll maximally put that muscle under tension on the opposing side from the end that you're trying to stretch to allow that muscle to then relax following that contraction. And we'll do that repetitively over the time that you are stretching versus just sitting there statically hoping that those muscles are going to relax as you're in that position. It becomes a much more effective and impactful stretch overall in that way. So again, reciprocal inhibition is the idea that when one side of the joint, the muscles are contracting, the other side is going to naturally be inhibited in order to allow it to relax so that we can create that movement from the muscle contraction on the opposite side. So hopefully that is clear enough and there's no confusion there about how that works. Think of it as one side contracts, the other wants to relax. And that is so that there is a balance and allows for movement, yet still stability around our joints in that way. So what I'm going to do next is just show you a few different options or ideas to get you started with this to help you understand how we want to put ourselves in a good position to set ourselves up where we can actually put the muscle at length and then engage the opposite side while we're in that lengthened position. It's a little bit uncomfortable for that 5 to 10 seconds that you're flexing. We get that little bit of intense stretch there from that max force. What I want you to concentrate on while you're doing that though is the actual muscle contraction from the flex. So you focus on the flex, don't worry about the stretch as much, and you'll naturally start to open up more range of motion that way. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of these positions that you can start to use right away. All right, so first of all, we're going to show how to improve flexibility of the glutes through this reciprocal inhibition concept here. So what we're going to start with is pulling our knee to our chest. Now that is the passive part of this stretching that we're doing. So normally this would just be a passive stretch, but what I'm doing here that you might not be able to see is actively flexing my hip flexors for 5 to 10 seconds. Now that's a hard muscle contraction to see, so we'll get some other examples where you could see it a little bit better. But what you could see is how I'm actually able to get a little bit deeper, and I'm taking that passive range a little bit further every time I relax after the muscle contraction. So what I want to do is take the space immediately after I finish the flex that I'm given by the muscle. So I'm again working at end ranges here. So flexing 5 to 10 seconds, max flexed. I can really feel my hip flexors working, and then I'm going to relax and take it deeper here, stretching the glutes further. Next, here's an example with the hamstring that's a little more apparent. So here you can see me flexing the quadriceps for 5 to 10 seconds. And then as I relax that flex, what I'm going to do again is take more range of motion. So I'm bringing that leg further into a stretch, being conscious of, again, the position of everything else that's happening. So I want to make sure that leg that's down, I'm keeping pressed and extended away, and I'm keeping that leg reaching so that I'm not just changing the position of my lower leg here, and I'm really working that flex and then pulling into that deeper hamstring stretch every time. Again, focus on the flex of the muscle. Don't get caught up in the stretch that you're feeling as much. It will get harder for you to actively engage the muscle group on the opposing side as the range of motion extends, but this is also where you gain more control over those muscle groups in deeper ranges of motion. So it's kind of a double benefit here. Next, so in order to hit those quadriceps, what we'll do is actually reverse that position, and here I'm going to be flexing the hamstrings and assisting again passively to bring myself into a certain range of motion, and then I'm actively thinking about pulling my heel to my butt with the hamstrings as much as I can. Now some of these positions might make you want to cramp up in that muscle group that you're flexing. This is an opportunity again to build strength and gain strength in that area, so just continue to flex into that cramp if you're able to. If you can get yourself to flex into the cramp, you'll actually see that these go away a lot sooner than if you don't. So you'll be fighting yourself if you jump ship too soon. Otherwise, you can get rid of those cramps by flexing into them tighter as you go. Next, we'll give you a few upper body examples here as well. So here I'm going to be opening up my biceps at full length and also the anterior shoulder. So a little bit of the anterior deltoid, a little bit of the pec here. My goal is to flex the triceps into the floor as much as possible. So I think of almost flattening the pit of my elbow to the floor every time that I flex for that 5 to 10 seconds. And then as I relax, I'm going to lean a little bit further away from that arm as it's pinned against the floor here. So that is ultimately my goal, is to keep opening up after I flex into that relaxed position of my biceps and my shoulder and the anterior side. And another commonly tight area, those triceps. So with the triceps, to get them at full length, we need to prop them up on a butcher's block type position here. So we're gonna put them on the surface, and then I'm gonna be flexing the biceps as I reach for my scapula. So I'm literally thinking of trying to grab each scapula on my upper back as if I were about to just pull them off there. Every time I do that, you'll see my fingers kind of shaking and wiggling for a second. Then I'm going to sink a little bit deeper as I can. If I'm able to get my head a little bit under the bench, I want to go that direction, and we're going to be moving that way. And lastly, we're going to show you how to open up the upper back here. So I'm going to hug myself. Here I'm flexing my pecs as tight as I can, so I'm going to flex the chest. And then on the relax, I'm going to walk my fingertips to reach the inside of the scapula, the shoulder blade on the inside edge here. Now again, these are all just examples to get you started and give you a few ideas to get going. You can do this literally with any muscle group. The key is knowing what's the opposing muscles you're trying to activate and how to actually activate them. So if you can get the feel of the activation and gain control there neurologically, get that flex going, then you have the opportunity to open up flexibility on the opposing side immediately. So take advantage of it. All right, and there you have it. How to make your stretching immediately more impactful and effective through reciprocal inhibition. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below, and take a moment to share this one with a friend. Maybe they've been trying to improve their flexibility and they're struggling because they find themselves in that cycle of my stretches aren't working and I'm kind of just not gaining any ground. Share the love with them so they could actually see some progress overall. If you're somebody who's been struggling with training aches or injuries for a while now and it's been inhibiting the way that you're training, or you're trying to resolve a certain ache or pain, what I want you to do right now is drop down below in the description to fill out a coaching application and schedule a time for a mobility blueprint call. This is our opportunity to jump on a Zoom call together so that I could first of all take you through an assessment and then gather all the information I would need to tailor a program specifically to your needs. At that point, I'll be able to lay out for you in full detail how I'll be coaching you through that program and guiding you through it to full resolution of your problem. And if you like that idea, I suggest you drop down right now and fill out that application, get that call scheduled so we can start moving you in that direction. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine, and it does not get better than that, so take advantage of it. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. We'll see you next week.